So in today's speed build, I am building an apartment and I'm trying to use complementary colors such as blue and orange. Hello friends, my name is Luca and today is another speed build and I am building in the 13, what is this? I can't see it. It's 1321 Chic Street apartment in San Myshuno. This is a pretty interestingly shaped apartment. I think it's actually one of the more enjoyable ones to build in for me because it's just a bit of a challenge because of the awkward shape. And so I made this apartment sort of for just maybe like a single sim or a couple. I could have made it a bit more of a challenge and made it into a family apartment, which I actually think is the original like setup of this apartment is a family apartment. It's very, very small if you make it that. So I thought I would just try out something like this. All I did for this build was I went into my color settings in the catalog, like the filters, and I went by blue and orange. I obviously did some, I changed things here and there myself along the way, but for the most part, I selected items that were categorized as blue or orange, and I really love the outcome. Honestly, this flooring from City Living, I don't use it enough because it's classified as a basketball flooring. I don't really use it a whole lot because it's very shiny, it's very nice, and a lot of the builds I do are not very new and nice and clean like that. They've got some edge, they've got some character, they've got some wear and tear. Even when I do a modern home, I don't use that because I like the flooring to look rustic. But here it looked so cool against that blue, just because, yes, blue and orange are complementary colors, but that does not exclude like wood tones that are orangey. So I think the orangey wood tones with anything that's blue looks so good together. I had a rough layout for this apartment in mind, and I did have to tweak it here and there as I went along, just because that's usually how it is. You can kind of have it in your head, but when you're actively doing it, you're like, oh, maybe this isn't exactly how it looks in my head, so I need to change it. I did keep the floor plan the way that I wanted, but I just made some tweaks along the way. I have like a kitchen and open living space. It's, most apartments, it's open spaces because, you don't want to if you section off apartments like this, it's just going to feel very cramped and small. That can be a good thing if you're going for that, but I wasn't going for that here. I wanted to keep it nice and open. So the living room is on this wall where there isn't any windows yet. I did use the tool mod to cheat in a window. Now, I will tell you, I do have a tutorial on how you can move and add new windows in apartments in San Myshuno. However, it does not work for this Chic Street apartments. I don't know if it's just this apartment building or what, but it does not work, at least in this one, because the grid for tool mod and the game itself is just off. It's angled weirdly, so you can't do an exact percentage, and you can't use numbers and all that stuff. So you have to just click the item when the tool mod is active and then just place it in the wall with yourself, and it's not going to be perfect, but it'll do. You will see that in a bit here, but I really like this rug. I can't remember where it's from. I want to say it's from Parenthood. I could be wrong, but I can't remember which set it's from, but I really like this rug. I have not used this swatch before, and I actually quite liked it in this apartment. It looks kind of cool. I did struggle figuring out how I wanted to set up the living room and the TV area, what table I wanted, because nothing really fit. Physically it fit, but the colors just weren't right. I really wanted something that kind of went along with this crazy bright blue and the orange. I went with this initially, and I do change it later on. However, I kind of wish I would have left it because I think it really works with the style overall. I really like this lamp from Seasons as well. I love that shade. I honestly really like that lamp. It's really fun to use in a lot of different builds, and I think it fits pretty well in this house. I used some spandreling there to, is that what it's called? Spandrels? I think so. I used that there to separate the rooms a little bit, but keep them open, and this is from Snowy Escape, and I actually really like how it looks there. It's kind of nice. And then I did some blue, blue textured, I want to say maybe some kind of, what am I thinking of? Oh, I can't plaster, maybe. I don't really remember what it's called, but I did some like blue paint on the walls there with some like orange like wood paneling from the Island Living expansion pack. Honestly, that's the intensity. That's the complementary colors that I was really going for, was that really bright orange and that really like cyan, like tealy blue. It's still blue. It's not quite teal. It's like almost there though. It's a bit more on the green side. Here's a mini lesson in color theory, y'all. So every color has different like tones. It has warm tones, it has cool tones. Even if it is considered a quote unquote cool color like blue, for example, blue is, you can have a warm blue and you can have a cool blue. And it is a little bit tricky to figure out if it's a warm or a cool blue. I always get it backwards in my head, but a warm blue is a bit more leaning towards purples, and it's a bit more on the red side of the spectrum. If you look at the color wheel, you can see how not every color kind of fades into each other. And so warmer blues are closer to red, and then cooler blues are closer to yellow. And that's why they go really well here with the orange, because they both have that yellow in common. So orange is a little bit closer to yellow, and the cool blue is a bit closer to yellow as well. So they have that in common, so they go together really well. I would say if I was doing this with a warm blue in mind, say a purpley blue, it would look good, but it might not look great. So the blue on the tiling in the kitchen, that's about in the middle, I would say. It might be a little bit cooler, but yeah. So like that like sky bluey turquoisey color, that's definitely a cooler blue. So yeah, it's it's all relative. Color theory, like colors are all relative to each other. And later on in the build, I do add a bit of yellow here and there as well to break it up. And honestly, it tied it together so well. I do make a few changes here and there, and it looks really, really good. And I wanted there to be a desk with a computer. I put some bookcases along the sides of it. The Snowy Escape desk here went really, really well with these bookshelves from Tiny Living. Honestly, love them. I do have a mod by, I think it's Ravishing, that prevents the curtains from clipping onto windows. So definitely check that out if you're interested. Very handy for builders, I would say, especially if you're building in apartments, because sometimes those curtains can be a little bit like frustrating to put onto windows. And so having that clipping turned off means you can just kind of free place them yourself. And honestly, 10 out of 10 recommend. Definitely helps out my building process a lot. It was at this point that I was kind of like, I don't know if I like this build. I wasn't really super happy with the living room, and I don't know, I just felt like there was something missing in this house. I honestly think that I should have done the layout of the kitchen a little bit different. I like the way it is because it is pretty realistic, because it's like a galley kitchen. But I almost wish that there was a spot for a dining table in the middle there instead. I feel like the flow would have been a little bit nicer, because this wall was really throwing me off. I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do with it. I changed this so many times. I put like a different painting every now and then. I'll do like a different, like, I don't know, piece of art. It's just, I can't figure it out. And I honestly, at the end, not super mad about it, but still just kind of like meh about it, you know? So there's always going to be a little bit of a build that I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing. So, but this little entryway was really fun. I really liked it because I used this like shelf table from the Laundry Day kit. No, it is the Laundry Day stuff pack. Do not insult stuff packs like that, Lucas. But seriously, I really liked how it looked, and I put some decor on that and some clutter as well. I think it added to it quite nicely because that wood, that shelf in there is like a regular kind of wood tone. It's not painted, so it kind of, I don't know, it kind of goes with everything else in here really well. Yeah, I like this apartment. It's pretty cute. It was pretty fun doing it. And yeah, it's just one bedroom and one bathroom. And how I had it set up is essentially you had to go through the bedroom to get to the bathroom. You know, it's just because it's a very narrow apartment. That's how I did that. I think actually in the original layout, the kitchen and like the kitchen and the living space is on the other, it's like on the opposite end. It's like flipped around, which personally I do think is better. I do think it's a much better layout because I would rather have those two big windows at the end in the bedroom because that would be kind of nice, honestly. But I don't know. I just wanted to change it up because sometimes doing the same things over and over can be kind of boring. And I don't think I've done this apartment in this specific kind of layout before. And I really, really like that. Changing it up sometimes really helps it feel like a completely different apartment. I really did like all the plants in here. I don't know. I do. I think the plants kind of help break up all that blue and orange because, you know, it's green and it's kind of like, it's one of those colors that's like in between all of the blue and orange, because if you think about it, you got blue, then you have green, then you have yellow, then you have orange. And so that green really ties nicely there because it's if you add that green and that yellow, it becomes less of a like a complementary color scheme into a little bit more of an analogous color scheme. Analogous meaning it's colors on the color wheel that are right next to each other. So we got blue, green, yellow, orange. And I kind of like that. It's kind of like the blue and the orange are like the main players, but then the yellow and the green are just kind of like little sidekicks that are just kind of there to help, you know, bring out some color here and there. I don't know. I really like talking about colors because I've studied that stuff a little bit here and there in my college years, as well as just being an artist back in the day. Like just, you know, knowing and understanding color theory is really, really helpful for honestly any field, whether it's, you know, graphic design, whether it's like fine art, or even if it's just YouTube, you know, making Sims builds. It's kind of good to know what colors go together. And while I'm not saying I'm the best builder in The Sims, I do think I have a good eye for color. I think at least, because I was very, very picky with which items I wanted to place. Like some items I just placed because I needed to, or I needed something that had that orange color or the blue color. But I didn't necessarily love like this chest of drawers in the bedroom there. I wish the wood tones were a lot darker, like a little bit more richer, because they kind of look washed out compared to everything. It works well with that bed, thankfully, so it kind of made sense, but I don't know. I just kind of wanted a little bit of something. Now the rug in here is definitely leaning more towards a warmer blue, just a little bit. It's not super warm, but it's slightly warmer than the rest. At least relatively, it's warmer than the rest of the blues. So I kind of liked that actually. It kind of broke it up just a little bit and just kind of expanded upon it. I don't know. It's always fun to just try to, you know, match colors. That's something I will recommend. If you're building in The Sims and your colors just seem a little bit off, look at a color wheel and then kind of see what color the item it is that you're using, and then see if you can find a color that's a little bit more, that goes along a little bit better with the other colors in your apartment. So if say you have the flooring and the wallpaper already picked out, you want a couch that kind of matches that a little bit, try to make the colors kind of make sense with your color wheel. You can even go online and find like color wheels that give you color schemes. I think colors.co. I know Adobe has like a colors website where you can like make your own palette, so definitely give that a try. I definitely have used that in the past. And those lights on the walls, like the hanging string lights from Parenthood, honestly really tied it in together. That blue is literally the matching blue as the walls, and these cabinets here, I did switch out that thing for the cabinet, so I do like it. I just kind of liked that other thing a little bit more looking back, just because it had the lights and it was brighter, and I don't know, but I do like that. That's a good alternative. Those cabinets from the base game are really good. And I have a mod that actually adds slots on top so you can place items without having to use move objects and everything. So yeah, definitely give that a try. I think it's from Brazen Lotus. So if I can remember, I'll leave that linked down below. Just yell at me in the comments if I forget. I'm literally going to do it right now. I'm going to write it down on a piece of little paper here. Hold on. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this apartment. I just continue adding some things here and there. I changed the wallpapers in some sections because honestly, I kind of like this more because the yellow kind of just made it seem a little bit nicer. But yeah, I just continue on adding some more decor here and there just to kind of fill up the space and, you know, add some more lived-in-ness to it. The kitchen needed some more clutter, so I came back and did that. And yeah, that is pretty much it for this apartment. Do let me know in the comments down below what you thought, and yeah, give me some ideas as well to what other apartments, builds, etc. that you would like for me to try out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Ooh, I love this rug. That rug underneath the chair in the at the desk area, oh my gosh, love it. I don't think I really ever use it, but it looked so good here. The yellow and the orange just like popped so well against everything. And I think I finally figured out what to put here. I don't remember what I did put here, actually, to be perfectly honest. I spent a good few minutes looking through the catalog, being like, what am I supposed to do here? And then I found this IKEA looking shelf that was very bright orange, and it was perfect. And if you got to this part of the video, how about you comment your favorite color? That way it's a little different this time, you know? My favorite color is green, specifically a nice dark phthalo green. That's a very, very I think it's a warm. Is that a warm or a cool? I don't know, but I'll have to look that up. But anyways, I love you all. Take care of yourselves, and that's everything. Thank you all so very much for watching. Stay weird, and I will speak to you all next time. Goodbye, my friends.